Hi, I'm Debi Peverill from Painless Financial Training Group, and this video is about how to fill in an Ontario TD1 form. The form itself is called the 2021 Ontario Personal Tax Credits Return. So the form is 2 pages plus a 1-page worksheet, and the purpose of this form, of course, is for your employer to take the correct amount of tax from your paycheck so that when you file your 2021 personal income tax return, you won't owe any money to the Ontario government, and you won't be getting a refund from the Ontario government either because you have taken exactly the correct amount. So nothing you put on this form is going to change your actual tax return that you file in 2021. This is just about figuring out the amount of tax you want to have withheld. So the first of the page starts off with your name, your address, your birth date, your social insurance number. Pretty straightforward. And then we get to the boxes. Box 1 is the basic personal amount. This is the amount of income you can earn in Ontario before you start to pay provincial tax. And for 2021, this amount is $10,880 for everyone. Box 2 is an age amount, which doesn't apply to you unless you are over 65 years of age. If you are 65 years of age or over by the end of 21, and you earn $39,546 or less, the amount you put in this box is $5,312. It is partial claims are available. Once your income is over $74,960, then there is no claim any longer. But between $39,546 and $74,960, there's a partial claim, which is based on proration. The pension income amount, if you don't receive a pension, this one doesn't apply to you. And this is for pension other than Canada Pension Plan, Old Age Security, and Guaranteed Income Supplement. If you have that pension that isn't one of those three, you claim $1,504 unless your pension income is less than that. If you are disabled, then box 4 has the amount that you claim for the disability tax credit. And this means that you have a form from Canada Revenue Agency that says you're eligible for the disability tax credit. And if so, the amount that you would put in box 4 is $8,790. Box 5 is a spouse or common law box, and that is if you support a spouse whose income is less than $9,238. Okay, so there's again can be some proration involved in that. The amount that you claim is $9,238. If their income is more than $924, then you claim the difference between $924 and what their income is. And of course, if that is more than the $9,328, then there is no claim. So you're only claiming a spousal amount when you are supporting someone whose income is lower than the income number of $10,162. Box 6 applies if you don't have a spouse, but you do have a child. So this is what we often have called the equivalent to spouse deduction, and the tax is calculated the same way. If they're making more than $10,162, there's no claim. If they're making less than $10,162, then you claim the difference between their income and that number, the $10,162. Box 7 is the Ontario caregiver amount. If you are supporting a infirm dependent, then again, we would take a look at their income, and you have a deduction based on the difference between their income and $22,672. The maximum claim there, though, is $5,128. So there is a place on the worksheet for you to take their income, subtract the base amount, and figure out how much of a caregiver deduction you're entitled to. Okay. Box 8 is the amount transferred from your spouse or common law partner. So if your spouse or common law partner doesn't need their age exemption, their pension exemption, their disability amount, then those amounts can be transferred to you. The same thing applies to box 9, which is the amount that is transferred from a dependent. So box 8 is about your spouse, box 9 is about a dependent. So if you have a child with a disability credit and they don't have enough income to use it up, they can transfer it to you. So the totals, you add up from 1 to 9, the amount you've written in each box, and you put that in box 10. And this is basically the amount of income that you have to make before you're going to pay any income tax. Page 2 has a couple of important questions on it. One of them is the employer in question. Do you have more than one employer? If you are working for more than one employer, you need to fill out your TD1s differently. The first one you do for your employer, you can do it the regular way, but the second employer, you can't claim those credits again. You're only entitled to one set of credits. So if you've already claimed them for your first employer, you shouldn't claim them for your second employer. You should put a tick mark in this box and say that you have more than one employer at the same time. And then there won't be any credits considered when your employer is doing your paycheck. Another box here is if your income is going to be less than the exemption amount, which is the $10,880. And if your income is going to be less than that, you tick the box and no deductions will be taken, considered, and you won't have any tax taken off your pay. You can have additional tax deducted if you like. You fill in this form and ask for an additional amount per pay to be taken from your paycheck, and that way you should get a refund when you file your return next year. You can also have a reduction in your tax if you know that you have large exemptions. Perhaps you're putting a lot of money into an RSP. These will be things that aren't already on the form. Then you can ask for a reduction of tax at source, but you have to fill in a form and prove that. And the form, of course, is the T1213. There's, yeah, that's about it, except for the worksheet. The worksheet is the proration of the age amount, the spouse amount, the amount for eligible dependents, and the Ontario caregiver amount. So you would use that worksheet to figure out the amounts you put on the first page. So hopefully you fill all this in, you give it to your employer, and the correct amount of deductions are taken from your pay through all of 2021.